Your watch not worth what you think it is. Let me explain. Everyone's talking about the imploding watch market. There's tons of videos. I've read lots of articles. Watch Pro have done a few different articles on this subject where they're saying that the watch market is basically imploding. All the major brands like Patek Philippe, Rolex, AP, those brands are falling in price. Prices dropping on those brands means that all the other brands are also going to be falling as well. I personally would love to see Rolex shit the bed. However, I know that's not going to be the case. However, this video today isn't about Rolex. It's not about Patek Philippe. It's actually about Ming. Now, if you're not familiar with Ming, I would imagine most of you are. However, they are a Malaysian-based brand. They make Swiss-made watches, and during the pandemic, they became one of those brands, one of those hype brands that were selling out in a matter of seconds. That's kind of the reason why I'm using them as an example in this video. They have a love it or hate it kind of design. Their lugs are very short, they're very curved. Most of their watches are on the smaller side. They do have a very good design DNA. So when you see a Ming on someone's wrist, you will know that it's a Ming. That's a really good thing. For a small brand to actually establish that, that's really hard. So they did that really well and really fast. So a lot of their watches very recognizable on people's wrists. So their designs are somewhat polarizing. However, I think a lot more people love their designs than hate their designs because their watches did and have sold out in a matter of seconds. It got so bad that the brand Ming actually had to start combating some of the bots that were set up to get allocations of their watches. And then eventually they set up a program where you had to actually register when you were buying the watch so that you couldn't resell your watch. So if you did resell the watch, you would actually get in trouble with them. You would not be able to buy another watch. Very similar to what Rolex was doing at the exact same time. In fact, I think Rolex are still doing it. Ming are not anymore. However, that didn't stop flippers. If you went on places like eBay, Chrono24, even places like Watchbox, these watches were selling for multiples of the original MSRP. So for a watch that was costing around $3,500 with the Sellita movement, was selling for around $7,000 to $8,000. So about 4 years ago, I tried to buy a Ming. That was actually the H41. That was the Abyss. It was a dive watch in titanium, a really nice watch that I thought was really capable as well. I liked the look of the watch. I thought I liked the look of the watch, and then I bought it eventually. I bought it on the secondary market, and I ended up reselling it because I didn't really love it all that much. However, when I went to buy it back in 2020, it sold out in a matter of seconds. So literally, the site went up, and then it went down, and all of the watches were sold. They were selling for around $4,000. That was the original MSRP. If you went on eBay, almost immediately after that sale, they were selling for in upwards of $10,000. And they actually were selling for that. When they finally made deliveries of those watches, the H41 was selling for around $10,000 on eBay on a regular basis. So you get the picture. Hype watches not only limited to those brands that we all know and some of us love, like Rolex, Patek Philippe, AP, and a number of other brands that really have been riding the wave of hype. Ming and a bunch of others like Chrono Tokyo, Moser, you name it. There were even major brands. There was a case where I actually own a Vacheron Overseas World Timer. I went to a place that was in New York City, Analog Shift. They had that watch for sale for $72,000, and I think someone actually bought it. The only thing I can say is that out of all of this, I hope that people like the Watch Trading Academy go out of business. I don't know if you've ever seen that guy's channel. I really hope that guy goes out of business. I don't like him. There were a lot of watches affected by the hype and a lot of watches selling for well above retail on the used and gray market. However, fast forward to today, 2024, since the major brands that we were talking about earlier in the video are suffering and prices have been falling on those watches, brands like Ming, brands like Moser, and brands like Chrono Tokyo and all the other little independent brands that were selling for way above their retail asking price are now suffering on the secondary market. Some of them are actually selling for their MSRP. Some of them are actually selling for a discount. So you could actually go into some of these ADs and boutiques and actually get a discount on one of these independent brands. Major brands, that goes for all major brands. Basically, you can get a discount these days. If you head over to Chrono24 or eBay, which are always a good barometer of what watches actually cost. If you go to places like Watchbox, they're usually inflated. You could still make an offer on places like Watchbox, but they do have a little bit more money on their prices than places like Chrono24 and eBay. If you look at those places, you're going to see the true prices of these watches, specifically brands like Ming, and I'm not just picking on Ming in this video, I'm using them as an example, but they are selling well below their MSRP on the used market and on the gray market. However, that doesn't mean that their new watches are doing all that great as well. Their newest diver, a really nice watch, was just recently released. That is the 3709 Bluefin. This is the second step in their dive watch story. It's a really good looking watch that's getting a bracelet. It has some trick lume and also a trick inner rotating bezel. So lots going into the watch. It's still powered by a Sellita movement or an ETA movement. It's a slightly upgraded ETA movement or Sellita movement. It's the 300 or the 2892. I don't remember which one they're actually using. It's not all that incredible. It's slightly modified. It's darkened. However, they are charging around $4,500, I want to say, for this watch, which all things considered isn't all that bad. However, this is a limited edition of 500 pieces, and it took almost 2 weeks to sell out. That is pretty incredible, considering, again, what was going on during the pandemic. Within seconds, watches like this would have sold out, and today it's taking up to 2 weeks. How long is that even going to last for? Will these watches not sell out in the future? Hodinkee having problems selling their limited editions that they're doing with a lot of brands. The Timex limited edition that they did, still on their website for sale. Although it's limited probably to an incredible amount of watches, they're still available, and that was something that just didn't happen during the pandemic. They say a rising tide raises all boats. It goes in the opposite direction as well. When the prices start falling on these investment pieces, pieces that people looked at as investments, people like the Watch Trading Academy, and again, I'm not specifically picking on him, but I kind of am. They are responsible for the prices that these watches were selling at. As those prices drop, all the other watches will fall as well. Another quick note, I know a lot of people in the comments are going to say to me, well, Chris, I bought a watch, it was $12,000 sub, it was a Ming, and it's definitely going to be selling for $12,000 on Watchbox right now, and I can get my money back. It's really not that big of a deal. Well, that's not really the case. I've made videos about that as well. If Watchbox has a watch on their website and they're selling it for $12,000 that you paid $12,000 for, that means they're going to give you around $7,000 for that watch. So your watch is actually worth $7,000 if you want to go that Watchbox route. If you want to go the eBay route or Chrono24 route, just right off the top, take about 25% off the selling price, and that's actually what your watch is worth. So technically, even if you see prices out there that are close to what you paid, you're not getting what you paid back. So there you go, prices are falling. They're falling for all brands, and it's gonna really hurt those brands out there like Watchbox, probably eBay and Chrono24 and Watchfinder and Co. And of course that guy from the Watch Trading Academy. You know, it's gonna hurt them all. All of the prices are falling, so that means it's just gonna be less money in their pockets. However, for the collector, for people like me and you, when you look down at your watch, even though it's worth less money, you're still gonna smile. You're still gonna enjoy your watches. And maybe you're gonna enjoy it a little bit more knowing that the Watch Trading Academy isn't making as much money as they were the day before. Okay, I'll stop picking on him. But you're still gonna look at your watches and you're going to enjoy them. And I am. And maybe I could even get some of the watches that I wanted at a better price. And that's kind of the whole point of this video. Watch collecting and not investing. I've said this a million times, but investing in watches, kind of silly. Enjoying watches is really what I'm here for, and I hope you guys are here for too. I guess if you're watching this channel, you must enjoy collecting watches. and I want to enjoy that with you guys. So tell me what you guys think about what I said today in this video down below. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys feel about this subject. Do you agree with me? Do you see this going on? Do you see the prices falling? And then, of course, all the other prices falling around it for the watches that we enjoy, like Zenith and, I don't know, Tag Heuer. Anything out there is falling. But that's not an incredibly bad thing. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Super helpful to the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.